Ladybug Laboratory podcast. My name is Lily and I will be your host for today. This is episode 23B. Today is September 17th. It's a Sunday. And welcome! This is a vlogcast kind of all about knitting for the most part. Other yarny or crafty exploits get featured on here too. We do have a Made For Me make-along going on through this podcast where you make anything that is for yourself, completely guilt-free. It has to be a Ravelry supported craft, and there are threads in Ravelry, finished objects, a chatter thread. Go ahead and post in there. Prizes will be coming out soon if they have not already. If they've already come out, the next set will be at the end of October. So go ahead and get your various postings in there. On that note, I am on Ravelry. There is a Ladybug Laboratory podcast group in the Ravelry groups. I'm also ladybuglily on Ravelry and ladybug.lily on Instagram. Today I am at the Black Squirrel still. This is, the same recording as part A, if you already saw part A. Black Squirrel is a local yarn shop for me. And I'm working today and I got here early, so I thought it would be nice to film here. And I think that's everything that I have to talk about. The shawl that I am wearing is my Emiliana shawl. I will link it in the show notes if you like. And the segments today are finished objects, August totals, and some non-yarny crafty goodness. So let's get started. So for finished objects today, I have a couple. Only one of which have you ever seen before, and you've sort of seen it. So this is the first one. It's a little square that I made, and I mentioned before how I was making this blanket for my friend Chase, who was getting married, and she founded our knitting group as well as this store, Black Squirrel. So I was missing one square and it got lost in the mail and I haven't been able to really get a hold of the person that was supposed to send it to me. I just wanted to give her the blanket. And I'll talk a little bit more about all the details of that, but I just wanted to give her the blanket. So I knit a little square to fill it in. If the other one comes in the mail, I can cut it out easily, which I'll talk about in a minute. This is using the Monkey Wrenches pattern. I totally forget who it's by, but I used Cascade Heritage Black and the Marley Tharn hand-dyed Ultra Sock in the Black Squirrel colorway that was part of the Kickstarter for this shop. So there it is. And in case you can't really tell, it kind of puffs out at the middle. I will try and put a picture in here of it like stretched out, not puffing. I'm going to try and block it. I'm not really sure why it puffs out. I can understand on a structural level, but it didn't seem to do that in any of the pattern pictures. I don't know. I don't really know what's going on there. But quite frankly, this is attempt 4 at this square, and I just wanted to get it done because I wanted to bring it in today and I wanted to leave it here for her so when she comes in on Tuesday, she'll have her blanket finally. So I just decided to go with it. It's not blocked yet because I'm going to, after I finish recording this, I'm going to open the shop in about half an hour. And before I do so, I'm going to go in the classroom area, put out the blocking mats, and block this in here because I don't have room for it at home. And this way I can do it here and it can be all a surprise when she comes in on Tuesday. So, that is the square. I don't know that there's much else I have to say about that. In terms of the blanket, I collected a bunch of squares from friends and I combined them together with the braided crochet join. So what I did is I crocheted 25 single crochets around each side of each square, and then I used that as the basis to do the braided join. And I did the braided join in Swan's Island washable DK in the Snowy Owl colorway. And then I did this garter ridge edging, and I did that with Swan's Island. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. Swan's Island merino worsted in the sea smoke colorway. They're both incredibly soft, and I bought them both here at the shop, so of course I did, right? The cool thing about this join is that, let's say I want to replace this block, okay? I can cut at this braid right here, unravel that braid, pull the block out, and the rest of it is still intact. So that's a really great advantage when it comes to things like this, because, for instance, I could just add that block. It means that I don't have to wait to continue joining until I get all the blocks and all this stuff. I really, really like this type of join. I've done it on one other project with Family Life Map blanket, which you guys haven't seen in, gosh, a year. And I haven't finished that either. But yeah, I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Really happy with how this turned out. So I am going to set this up to block soon. And I guess that would technically be my second finished object because I finally finished it. I do have a couple of ends to weave in still on that black squirrel square at the bottom, but I'm gonna leave those until after I've blocked it so that it can sort of stretch a little bit if it needs to. Yeah, so that is that blanket. I'm very excited for it, and I'm sure that Chase is more excited than I am, but I'm pretty proud of it. And then the last finished object that I have for you today is one that you have not seen, and this is a basket. It's pretty small. Once upon a time it was approximately the right size for my kittens to sleep in, but they have grown now. So here it is, and if you can see, it is a little bit felted. This is the Garter Ridge basket pattern, which is by like the Burnett Open Studios. It's one of their free patterns. And I held double Briggs & Little Heritage, which is an Aran weight, and they're like undyed colorway, and Irish Aran wool that my aunt got me on a trip to Ireland, which is that raspberry colorway, and it's that same yarn that I used for her pussy hat. Yeah, so I held them double, so they ended up a little bit marled, and then I felted it in the washing machine. Just a little bit, just enough to give it some structure. Yeah, I suppose I could wear it like a hat. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't really know what else to say. It's a basket, right? I can put things in it. Yeah, so it turned out pretty well. There it is. And that's it for finished objects. Next up is my August totals, and after an abysmal July, August was a lot better. I only brought 80 yards in August, and that was just 2 minis that I won in a prize pack, which is, they're gorgeous. They're at home, so I can't show them to you, but they're pretty cute. And then the rest of it was stuff that I took out. I ended up with about just over 400 yards that I used. And I thought August was going to be a lot better because I was on track to finish my snow shower shawl, but then when I got hung up, I decided, you know what, I'd rather use a bind off that I like and be happy with it in the long run. So I haven't finished that yet, but that's going to be so many yards, it's not even funny. But for August, I ended up using about 330 yards more than I brought in, which brought my total to 14,232 extra yards in than out. September, I'm doing pretty well already based on a lot of different things. So that's what I've got for that. The last segment is a non-yarny craft, and for today that's going to be cross stitch. But I did not bring my cross stitch with me because, quite frankly, it wasn't worth it to lug it all the way out here. And I didn't have time to record it while I was here. So I will meet up with you with me from the future talking about her cross stitch which will be here now.
So last time that you saw this cross stitch, I had not yet finished the over one section on the bottom, which has the couple that are figure skating. So I finished that. I finished all of the trees on the right hand side, went back and did a tree on the left hand side, and finished up the feet, the lantern, the faces, and all of that. I also went in and did the satin stitch, the white satin stitch in the corners around the over one section. I had done one of those corners, but I had not done the other three, so I went through and finished up the other three, as well as doing the little silk border on the bottom with the dyed silk. If you'll notice, there's also, if you look in the top left, I've started to put beads into the borders. Those were not there before either. So what I have left to do is finish a bunch of beads. Beads have to go in all the borders on both the left and the right, across the holly in the middle and around the white satin stitch medallions. I also have to do the border on the bottom and do a tiny section in the bottom where I put, my initials and 2017. But other than that, I will be done with this soon, and I'm pretty excited about that. Unfortunately, I am unable to locate one of the main beads that I need to use, so I might have to order new ones, but I think if I can find those, I can finish this up. And I'm hoping to finish it in 2017. The pattern is the miniature winter sampler by Teresa Wensler, which is what I've been using for all of my cross-stitch samplers. So far I have done summer, autumn, and winter, and the one that I have left to do is spring. Alright, so moving on.
Alright, and that's everything. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Comment below if you have any questions, or go to the show notes in the Ravelry group. And as always, have a fantabulous day. Bye!